Hi everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. My question of the day is, have you been wanting to start a small creative business for a while now, but the one thing that seems to hold you back is not having a name for yourself? Trust me, you are not alone. I struggled with the same thing when I first started, along with so many people out there. So in today's video, I'm hopefully going to get you guys on the right track, and I'm gonna share my 6 steps for creating a name for your business, and I'll also share some tips and tricks and things to think about along the way and after you've chosen your name. So let's get started. As a quick disclaimer though, I just want to tell you I am by no means an expert. These are just some things that I've come up with that I want to share that will hopefully help set you on the right path. Because I know it can be intimidating and sometimes you just don't even know where to start. So sometimes if there's a plan, it can help the process along a little bit. Anyways, okay, let's get started. So the first of the 6 steps that we're going to go through is brainstorming. That's right, we're taking it back to elementary school. So get out your notes on your phone, your pen, paper, your iPad, whatever you have to do to create a brainstorm list, and let's get moving. So for your brainstorm, I want you to think about descriptive words, adjectives, or just maybe phrases that come to mind or that you think kind of gives off the vibe that you're going for with your creative business. Now, with that, if you are a more visual person, sometimes it might help to create a Pinterest board, and then you can pull pictures in that kind of invoke a feeling that you want your business to create. So once you have all those pictures, you can look at them as a whole and then think of the words that come to mind when you look at all of those pictures. That might help those that are more visual. And then also included in your brainstorm, my suggestion would be to include keywords or key phrases that are important to your specific business. So let's say you're a graphic designer, or you design and that is what your whole business is, then maybe you want the word design or designs in your name. So think about those keywords and include those in your brainstorm list. So that is step number 1.
Hello, editing Haley here. Would it really be a foiled plan video if I didn't have to pop in during my editing process just to clarify something or add more information to explain myself better? Anyways, I just wanted to make sure that when you are creating your keyword list or your brainstorm phrases, that you don't end up putting yourself in a box. So basically what I mean by that is if you are making, let's say, custom cups right now, that's what your business is starting out as. Down the road, you might expand your services. And if you had custom cups in your business name, now that doesn't necessarily make sense because you offer A, B, C, and D things as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. When I first started my business, the Foiled Plan, all I made was foiled prints. Now, had my business been called Foiled Prints, it wouldn't make sense now when you look at all of the things that I do. So I like puns, which is why I went with Foiled Plan, because it's like your plan is foiled. Anyways, I didn't put myself into too much of a box because the Foiled Plan kind of makes people wonder, what does that actually mean? What does that person do? Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a not so good thing, but that putting myself in a box is not something that I thought about when I first started because I didn't think I would ever expand and do more than just foiled prints. So learn from my experiences. Okay, let's get back to the better quality audio and video content. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
So now that you've had your time to brainstorm, your list is probably massive. Step number 2 is to narrow it down. So I want you to go through your list and I want you to cross out things that maybe don't make sense or don't work together and keep only your favorite words or phrases. That step was super easy. Now let's move on to step 3. In step 3, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our narrowed down brainstorm search and we're gonna rearrange those words and use them together to create name options. So this is where we really see things start to come together. My suggestion is to make sure you have at least 5 options of words or phrases that work well together that could potentially be your business name. And with that, we're gonna move right on to step number 4. In step 4, we're gonna test the waters. So think for a moment about a big marketing agency. When they wanna test a product before it goes out to the market, what they'll do is create a focus group. So a focus group is basically a group of people that come together and they will test out a product and they'll give their opinion on it and maybe some constructive criticism or just their overall feedback about the product. Then the marketing agency will take that information to make improvements or adjustments on that product before it goes out to the general public and hits the market. So it's really, really beneficial to do a focus group. So the way that we can do a focus group to choose your business name is simple. So take your list of 5 or so names and phrases that you've narrowed down your selection to and pass that along to folks in your life that have opinions that you really trust. So maybe it's family members, friends, maybe it's a teacher or someone just out in the creative community that you resonate with. Ask them if they would be willing to look at that list and give their feedback on it. You can tell them, be brutally honest, because that will help you in the long run. Once you receive your results back from your focus group, it should help you to narrow down your results even further. You might find that everyone was really liking one of your options, so maybe that will play a role into which option you choose for your name. And then you might find also that everyone really didn't like one of the options, so that's an easy one to cross off your list. You also might find that when someone saw a specific name on your list, immediately it made them think of a certain thing and you would have never thought of that, and maybe that is going to be a cause for you to cross it off your list, because if one person thinks about that, chances are there's going to be other people out there that think about that too. So that's just something to keep in mind, that even if someone reads something on your list and they're like, ooh, I do not like that because it makes me think of this commercial for this specific business, it's helpful. I promise you it's helpful. All right, let's recap. Step 4 was to create a focus group. Can you believe it? We're already on step 5. You're almost there. I promise we're going to get through this. Step 5 is plain and simple, do your research. So after you've completed your focus group and you've narrowed down your selection, from that, what you're gonna do is take your remaining choices and do a Google search. I know that probably sounds silly, but I'm serious. Google those names. If they already exist, my suggestion is to choose another option. You don't want your name associated with somebody else's, or if someone goes to do a Google search for your name, you don't want to have them sift through like, oh, which one is actually them. Another reason that you for sure want to do your research is because sometimes those phrases or names could mean one thing where you live, but they could mean something completely different and could be really, really bad in other parts of the world. And you kind of have to think about the future in that maybe your stuff or your business will end up being known worldwide one day. You don't want anything bad associated with your name just because it means one thing to you, but in another country it means something completely different. So that's another reason that it's really a good idea to research before you select your name. And then also what you want to do with your research for that name is go on all of the social media apps and see if that name is already associated with another business. So sometimes people don't have websites yet for their business, so maybe you won't see them on Google, but if you head over to Instagram or Facebook, maybe someone is operating a business that is very similar to what you're doing and their name is what you plan to use. So that's obviously something you want to try to avoid. So to recap, do your research on Google and then also all of the social media apps. And with that, we're going to move on to the last step in choosing your name, and that is to actually choose your name. That's right. Step 6 is choose your name. We've done our brainstorming, we've narrowed it down, we've rearranged to create phrases, we've done a focus group, and we've researched. We have done enough now that we should have some viable options, and now it's up to you to finally make your decision. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and hopefully it'll put you on the right track to choosing a business name. With that being said, I just want to throw a couple things out there. Once you have chosen your name, these are just things that I suggest keeping in mind. When you first start out your business, you might be thinking that you only plan to stay this little teeny small business. And for some of you, that might be how it goes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my suggestion to you is to think about the future and what could happen with your business. Because for myself, I was not expecting things to go the way that they did. And some of the things I'm going to share with you right now are things that you can do to be more prepared for that potentially happening to you. So once you've decided on your business name, my suggestion to you is to go into all of the social media apps and create accounts using that name. Try to create accounts with usernames that don't have underscores or numbers or any special characters so that it's easy to find you when someone does a search for you in any specific app. So for myself, on Instagram, I am The Foiled Plan. On YouTube, The Foiled Plan. Facebook, The Foiled Plan. TikTok, The Foiled Plan. You get the idea. Even if you do not plan to use these apps right now, there's a chance that you may use them in the future. So go ahead, create those accounts, and they'll just sit there kind of in the background, even if you don't use them. So at least you have them and you know that you have that name set in stone for the future when you might go ahead and use them. Stick with me, I just have 2 other tips, I promise. I do recommend getting a logo or something along those lines set up as soon as you can. That way, if you're sharing any photos or video content related to your business, you can watermark it. I can't tell you how many times I've had my Instagram pictures stolen, or my designs, even my videos reposted and then no credit given. So at least if that happens in the future and your watermark is on there with your business name, at least people can potentially find you again from your content. If you don't know how to add a watermark to a photo or anything like that, what you could also do is just print out a sticker or a picture of your logo and then just make sure that it is somewhere that's visible in all of your videos. Just make sure if you're filming anything that's mirrored that you kind of switch around your logo so that it shows the right way when you're shooting. Now for myself, I film a lot of Cricut tutorials and videos, and those videos are usually the ones that get stolen and reposted other places. So when you open up the lid of your Cricut, what I've done is put my business name, The Foiled Plan, along that, so that at least shows in every single one of my videos and there's no way to crop it out or anything because it's right there. And the one final thing that I want to suggest to you once you've decided on a business name is to make sure you check into the laws, rules, and regulations for where you live and what is required when you are starting a business. So here in Ontario, we are required to register our business name. So just be sure to check into what those laws, rules, and regulations are wherever you live. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it gives you just even a little bit of confidence to sit down and actually start trying to create a name for your business. Maybe it'll set you on the right path. In any case, I hope you found it a little bit helpful or at least enjoyed hanging out with me today. If you'd like to hang out with me in between videos, be sure to pop over to my Instagram and other social media. It's always down in the description box below, as well as links to other helpful videos and supplies and whatnot that I use every day to run my business. All right, that is all I'm gonna say. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a super awesome day. Okay, bye. Have you been wanting to start your own small creative business for a while now, and the one thing that seems to hold you back is the fact that a motorcycle is driving by right now and gonna mess up my audio? All right, so that was step number 1. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Oh, my tripod is fully snapped. Well, that's safe. Oh gosh, now I gotta get a tripod. Cool. Stick with me, I just have 2 other tips, I promise. Excuse me.